Amitofo, everyone. Good evening, everybody. My name is Heng Sure. Tonight we're going to be investigating the Flower Garland Sutra, 大方广佛华严经. Welcome to our sutra lecture. If you are here from listening from English side, if you're listening to a Vietnamese translation, we have a Vietnamese translation for you. Please look to the chat box and you can find a fluent translation into Vietnamese for tonight's lecture. 大家阿弥陀佛，今天晚上我们继续研究大方广佛华严经十回向品。想听越南话的居士啊、法师啊，有机会那个 chat box 里边都可以找到越南话的翻译。Okay, now we are going to do our Dharma request right away. So let me bring up our screen, and Van is going to do our Dharma request tonight. Let's see now. Okay, let me ring the bell 3 times. I've got a nice handbell here. It's a very pretty bell, very pure sound. 我就敲延庆3下，然后呢，大家可以就从你的座位上可以问心3问心里来。好，我们开始。1问心，2问心，3问心。好 ，OK， 那Van， 你想请法 please do it now. Please, Van, if you'd like to request Dharma, please go ahead.
Excuse me, Dharma Master, I just have one to chant the Chinese version. This is Kelly Xie from Beijing.
Okay, Katie will do the Chinese part, and
Okay.
Van will do the English part.
Okay,
可以了。
大众请合掌。All the Dharma fellow cultivators, please put your palms together. 恭请大德僧听，为此法会，济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。
Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao sanputoshe. Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao sanputoshe. 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的, all right. Appreciate the Dharma requests. Thank you both. It's good that we have teamwork, requesting in both Chinese and in English. All right. Now, to begin, we're going to invoke spiritual presence. 我们现在迎请大方广佛华严经、华严海会佛菩萨，还有天龙八部护法上身，求莅临道场，令我们一切都顺利圆满。同时呢，给各位祝福。So when we do this, if we are sincere, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas arise and bless each one of you. Namo Tafang Quang Pho Huayan Jing Huayan Hai Hui Bo Pu Sa Namo Tafang Quang Pho Huayan Jing Huayan Hai Hui Bo Pu Sa Namo Tafang Quang Pho Huayan Huayan Hai Bo Pu Sa Namo Tafang Huayan Jing Huayan Hai Bo Pu Sa Namo Tafang Huayan Jing Huayan Hai Bo Pu Sa One more time.
So far, your voice seems a bit low.
Little quiet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's my internet or not, because I'm Taiwan.
Can anybody else? Because I have a new mic and I'm auditioning for get the right settings. Is who else thinks that my line is very low? It says Zheng
Yeah.
Li. Okay, all right. So we'll turn that up. Is that better? How does that sound to you? If I talk like this, is that better? Louder, a little bit?
A little bit, I think.
Not much. Oh, okay. So here, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go into audio settings and let's see here. I can do now. That says automatically adjust microphone volume. Did that change anything if I do it that way? Is that any better or not? Let me
Couldn't
know.
feel any change.
No change. Okay, good. Okay, everybody be patient here. Let's see. I'll undo that and boost that up. I can also bring it closer to my mouth. That helps too.
Now it's louder.
Okay, that should be a little louder. All right. Just that's instead of relying on the electronic, just bring the microphone closer. That's the way to do it. Okay. Okay. Volume, Alan says it's okay. Okay, there. So how is this now? If we leave it at this, okay, yeah, unclick automatic. Yeah, I did. I had it automatic and it wasn't working, so I unclicked it. Okay, good. And if my voice, if you please give me feedback. Let me know if it's not working out. Okay, now take a look here. We have the a special acknowledgement of country for CTTB, because why? The native First Nations people are different in different parts of California. So now I'm going to take off my headphones because that was too loud for my ears. Okay, let's try this now. Here we go. We want to say that the Pomo people practice their spiritual connections to the earth and all creation here, that is to say, in Northern California, in Mendocino County, for tens of thousands of years. And today we acknowledge them as the traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. Take a look here. Ready? Pomo 人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系已有数万年。今天我们承诺他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，并向其过去、现在和新兴的长老表示敬意，以及主权从未破割让的所有第一民族人民们表示敬意。Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, all right. Well, welcome everybody. Let's see who is here. First of all, I need to, there we go. I'm going to bring up the, let's see here, what do I need? That's what I need right there. Bring up Xuanzang Dashi biography, which is right there. Okay, hold on here. A little bit of adjustment as we get going. There we go. Book 1. Good stuff. All right. Now, I want to say good evening, everyone. See, the one of the real advantages of having a Zoom meeting for a sutra lecture is we get to create a community with all the friends who join together. And if you all, in order to make me happy, if you put your location in your name in Zoom. Do you all know how to do that? If you look at the participants, you see the participants in your control panel there? 参与人士的人名. There's, if you, let's see now, where do you go? If you, yeah, okay, run your cursor. Now, I'm on a desktop. It's a little different on a phone. If you have your cell phone or iPad, it's a little different. But put your cursor over your name. And then on the right, it says more. Do you see that? It also says mute. But if you see the more and click on the more, it says rename. And when it says rename, you can add your location. So I'm going to do that for myself. It says Berkeley, CA. Reverend Heng Sure, comma, Berkeley, CA. There it is, and I'm the co-host. So you can add your location to your name if you like to. Okay, Van just did that. Good. Yeah, you can. And that way we really take a step forward in becoming a community. 各位，你们的Zoom 这个控制板有 participants 有没有？你们看到了那个参与人士，那个箭头不，我说打开了，然后看你的名字。你的名字在哪儿？你就把这个 cursor 就放在名字上，右边有蓝色的一个那个泡泡出来了，你在那里就说 rename， 你再取个名字，改名字，那个你可以写你自己所在的地方。这个有什么好处呢？就是对我来讲有好处，就是说我知道我们多少人，我们在这个地球上多少个地方，那个我们都可以做一个人群，这个一个community 中文怎么说？团体，我们就可以全地球绕着地球一个团体。那么各位就说在 在如来家里边进一步了哈，是不是啊？就是为这个听法，我们做一个就是听法的一个观众，一个听众啊，很好很好。这个地球比较小一点啊，我们的这个孤独啊、寂寞呢，就会在听法的时候就可以去掉了啊，都可以跟一切佛友啊，跟一些善知识一切诸上善人在一起，那就对了。Okay, there we go. So 145 people at the moment, and Jin Yong Sure, the co-host, is in Taipei, which is amazing, and I'm here in Berkeley. Where else? Let's see here. Justin is here in Ukiah and Oakland, California. Kelly is in Beijing, who was our Dharma requester. Alan is in Ukiah. Tony Buck, you didn't tell us where you are. You're somewhere here. Shanghai, Binxin is there. Calgary, Michelle's in Calgary. We have Hong Kong. We have Malaysia. Newbury Park, California. Washington State. Sunnyvale, hey, Connie is here. Saratoga, hi, Cynthia. Let's see here. San Lorenzo, okay. San Jose, Montreal, as they say, le belle province de Quebec, the beautiful province of Quebec. Huainan Shi in Anhui Province. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Round Rock, Texas. Vancouver, British Columbia. Los Angeles, Los Angeles. Bay Point, California. Where else? Ukiah, Guangzhou, Haining. Let's see, Heilongjiang, Dongbei, Huanying. Okay, Wanfuchang, Saratoga, California. Yo, Heilongjiang, Chaoyang, Liaoning. Santa Rosa, okay, and Alameda. Washington State, Huali is here, good. Chaoyang, let's see, British Columbia, Taipei, Shenzhen, Sacramento. Where else? Columbia City, Oregon, welcome. Jane is here from Berkeley, Seattle. Jin Rocher is here from the Great Northwest. Jin Xiangshi is here. John is here from, after 6 hours on our board meeting, he still shows up to hear the Dharma. Stout, vigorous, protector of the Dharma. Good. Zhongguo Shenzhen, Heilongjiang. San Leandro, Union City. South Korea, welcome, Mr. Kim. I think that may be a first for us. Welcome, welcome. New Zealand, Xinxilan. Excellent. Malaysia, South San Francisco. Let's see here. Seattle, San Rafael, Singapore, San Jose, San Francisco. Where else? Singapore. All right. 2 friends from New Zealand. May, welcome. Glad you're here. And let's see here. 3 friends from Taipei now. Okay. San Gabriel, Mesa, Arizona, Calgary, Canada. Wow, as our friends grow in number, it takes longer as they keep adding on. Okay, Richard is here. Welcome, Richard. Glad you're here. Sorry I haven't been able to review that video yet, man. You'd be amazed if I told you. You know what a monk does. Anything but settle. Just constant activity. Simon is here from Monroe, Washington. Welcome, Simon. Zhuhai, where else? Belgium. That's good. Excellent. So let's see here. Virginia and Sydney. Where else? Lots of friends from CTDB. That's where I'm supposed to be, according to the lecture tonight. Fremont, California. Welcome, Chanyu. Santa Barbara. All right. Taipei, Harbin, Hangzhou. 有欢迎 Hangzhou 去过吉林、上海、黑龙江，还有什么地方？就说唐山湖南. Where else? Lots of friends from Shenzhen. We're popular in Shenzhen tonight. Okay, 陕西。好的，新北市、吉林、黑龙江、湖北河北、包头、内蒙古。More friends from Taipei. Harbin. Where else? Seattle. And 吉隆坡、Tangshan, the Arga. Okay, and Luoyang. Okay, Luoyang, that's great. Harbin. 欢迎各位非常非常欢迎，难得了。Okay. Okay, fine. It was fine. No worries, it was great. Okay, now what are we doing tonight? We are looking at something very special, which is we're looking at the heart of a bodhisattva. Now, one of the amazing things about the Avatamsaka Sutra is that here in the Ten Transferences chapter, what happens is the sutra opens up a window, so to speak, in the heart of a bodhisattva. We get to look right into their heart and watch as they practice the giving of Dharma by transference. They give it away. This is called the giving of Dharma, which is the highest kind of giving. 我们华严经上都有机会，这是等于什么？等于这个菩萨，华严经上的菩萨，就等于他的心就开了一个窗户，我们可以看到菩萨心里他的念头在转，他怎么回向，他就把他的功德布施往外布施，这个就叫法布施，主供养中法供养罪。所以然后呢，我们就说菩萨就是菩萨，我不是菩萨啊，我怎么跟菩萨可比 ？No need to 就说菩萨不是说我是菩萨我现在做回向，不是，就是一个人一个善心的人愿意供养就说一个就是一个怎么说欢喜做善的一个人So somebody says, oh, well, that's what bodhisattvas do, but I'm no bodhisattva. How could I compare myself to a bodhisattva? Well, bodhisattvas don't say, I'm a bodhisattva and I'm doing transference. They are kind-hearted people who like to give, who are generous, who like to benefit others. That's where bodhisattvas begin. The difference is they can do it on a big scale because they do it often. They do it regularly. So that's the only difference. It's a matter of scale, but the act of giving is the same regardless if you're a 10-stage bodhisattva or a beginner, just trying it out for the first time. 所以呢，就是说，那个愿意布施是一个心，无论你是实地菩萨还是一个初发心的人，这个供养这个心是一样的。好的 Okay, so that's the theory. You want to do it? Let's take a look. Here we go. Ready? Let's look at this line here. 菩萨而是以诸善根如是回向，所谓愿一切众生常得无量三昧眷属，菩萨圣定相续不断。There it is right there. Ready? At that time, the bodhisattvas make the following dedications with their good roots. May all living beings always attain countless samadhis and their associated samadhis, so that the bodhisattva's supreme samadhis will continue without interruption. Those of you who are still learning your Chinese, like me, let's take a look. 菩萨而是 At that time, a bodhisattva, 以诸善根, takes his or her wholesome qualities, their good roots, 如是回向, and give them away like this. This is how they give them away. So wait, that is to say, what we mean by that is, now, almost all of these vows, and we usually get 10 in a row, almost all of them begin with this pattern. 愿一切众生. Take a look. We used to translate this, I vow, I vow, I vow, I vow. Vows, that's certainly what's going on. And what is a vow? A vow is a thought, just like any other thought, but it's a strong thought. It's a powerful thought. What another way to say it that really is kind of closer to how I think people pray in the West is may. May every living being, may all beings. And here's 一切 sentient beings, people say. May every sentient being, ... and you fill in the dots. 这个愿我们看到就说我们今天晚上可能一半的人已经会中文，还有一半的人还在学习，我们在学习普通话。当然我们佛经上的中文是比较怎么说呢？是比较 formal 也不是这么说的，这是这个法藏法师，唐朝法藏法师，还有释迦难陀法师，他们带领的一个翻译大会，好几个出家众，有的时候那个皇上，有的时候皇帝参加，有的时候是从那个丝绸之路来的，会外国语、会印度话的人参加，很多人在一起，他们很会翻译，所以我们读的是唐朝的佛教的中文，他们怎么说呢？愿一切众生，愿我们英文就说 May it be so, May every living being， 我愿你所有的众生如何如何，就这样子。So let's check into it. Every one of these vows, look, there it is. 愿一切众生，愿一切众生，愿一切众生, right? Over and over, you get this pattern. May every sentient being, may everybody. Now, who does it mean? Okay, this is where, I like to explain sutras with something that I've actually experienced. That way I can talk about it in reality, so to speak. Things that are magical, things that are, unavailable to ordinary eyes and ears and thoughts. I don't talk about them that much because it's a matter of faith. And I don't want anybody to think, oh, Fasher says, and so that's why we believe it. I want it to be something you can experience so that you don't have to rely on anything outside of your own mind to say, yeah, I know the Dharma is true. I know it works because I've experienced it. That's the best. And so that's how I like to explain it. And that's what I hope you all have the experience of doing. So where it goes, may every living being, I don't see every living being, but I do know that in my own mind, when I use the Dharma and actually think about how a bodhisattva in the sutra would talk to himself, talk to herself, and say, may every living being, and then use this goodness, this pure heart of a bodhisattva. When I say those things, when I let that Dharma interact with my mind, I feel calmer. I feel more connected to my roots. I feel more connected to my teacher. I feel connected to Buddhas of the past, present, and future. And simply repeating the formula and taking it into the mind, I can feel the difference. Let's, for example, I need to translate that just a minute. Likewise, if I, whenever I let myself gossip, talk rights and wrongs about other people, or if ever I let anger in my mind or bad thoughts, I can feel the influence of those the same way in the other direction. I can feel fire rise. I can feel anger kind of pollute the state of my mind. I can feel it's almost like smoke gets in there. You remember when there were forest fires? This year we've had a lot of rain, but during the time of COVID, we went through a fire phase. And boy, here in the Bay Area, when it's burning even 100 miles away, the smoke comes down. You don't want it to be smoky, it's smoky. You try to breathe, it impedes your lungs. You have to stay in your house. They say fire alert, smoke alert, what do they say? A bad air alert, stay home. That's what it's like when you let your mind get angry inside. So that's true for negative thoughts. It's true for wholesome thoughts. And the thoughts of a bodhisattva are among the most wholesome, positive, light-filled thoughts any human can have. 就是说我什么时候我所讲的法是我愿意讲我自己有经验过的法。如果是很高就说神通妙用啊这些法呢，这是说真正世事的境界， 不是我自己的境界，我没有经过，所以我可以指出我能小长，因为不是我自己的经验呢。那么大家听到我所讲的，你们可以相信哦，法师已经有这个经验，所以呢，你听得出他不是说你们应该信我，因为我知道这是真的，不必了。我自己没有经过的什么境界，那么你也可以相信经上的菩萨啊。那么我希望你们各位听到我所讲的啊，就试过的啊这些法门啊什么的啊，那么你们自己都可以试一试，那就是可靠可信的法。所以这是应该怎么说呢？我就说菩萨的回向愿，愿一切众生。你看这是什么？这是一个人，一个善良的人，就是菩萨，他所发的一个善良的念头。我呢，我什么时候在我心里就说，愿一切众生常得无量三昧眷属，菩萨圣定，相续不断，相续不断。那个时候，我都感觉到哦，我心里边呢，多多少少都吸收到这些定力啊，我就比较平安，比较感觉到有幸福的。这个有光明在我心里边，烦恼少一点，就这样子。同时呢，我什么时候愿意生气？哦，我什么时候火再上来？我什么时候讲是讲非，讲人家的坏话啊？相反，刚好相反，我心里都有一些影子，等于什么？大家记得你们可能不在加州，去年、前年、大前年，这个森林烧火的时候，我们这里湾区，所以呢，没有，虽然没有这个树木在烧，可是那个烟，那个烧木头那个烟味儿，就到处都是。所以这个媒体报告说，你们最好在家里边把窗户关上，不要到外边去，到外边去吸收空气，那个吸引空气呢都在肺部都有危险。哦，那个时候不想闻到那个烟味，没办法不闻到，因为到处都是。那个时候我记得，哎呀，真的不舒服了。怎么样呢？那就是我们心里边什么时候让脾气发作，什么时候怒气就感觉到不一样啊。所以呢，我们尽量的让菩萨所发的回向愿就顺，好像法界蒙讯啊，就顺到我们的心里。哦，那个时候好舒服，好舒服。Okay, you get the point. So here we go. What does he say? 愿一切众生 may. Did we do it? Yeah, there it is, right there. May all living beings. Good. That's the way we when we pray, that's the way we do it. May all living beings constantly gain no way to measure. 无量 sanmei. Sanmei is a transliterated word, samadhi. You could also say 定 or samadhi. May they always get samadhis without number, and the samadhis that accompany them, that accompany those samadhis of the bodhisattva's supreme samadhis, may they continue without cease. Okay, now what I get from this is there are samadhis, like, for example, there are famous samadhis. One would be the Sagara Mudra Samadhi, the ocean imprint Samadhi. We used to say the ocean seal Samadhi, not the not that kind of seal, but seal like a seal that you put on sealing wax, that kind of Samadhi. The ocean imprint Samadhi. That's a famous Avatamsaka state of meditation where your mind becomes like a clear body of water without a single ripple. And in that body of water, you can see reflected every single phenomena that the world can have. That's the ocean imprint. Hayin Same Saga, how does it go? Sagara Mudra Samadhi. Named after a dragon king. Sagara is the dragon king. So, wow, what an amazing samadhi. That's a famous one. But Bodhisattva says, may every living being have samadhis that accompany that one. Samadhis like just having peace of mind, having a kind thought, being able to, let's say, just before, what do you do before you go to sleep? I remember once Shifu in a lecture said, if you want to guarantee that you will have peaceful dreams, before you go to sleep, recite the Great Compassion Mantra 3 times, he said. That's a good way to, if you have kind of insomnia or trouble sleeping, if you recite the Great Compassion Mantra slowly with your breath, as you inhale and exhale, you can have a peaceful night's sleep by doing that. And I said, well, that's great, Shifu. I tried it, but I never get past the first one before I fall asleep. I never get to number 2, much less 3. So that works for me really well. That's a small samadhi, right? The samadhi that accompanies the famous. What are some of the other famous ones? Oh, there's the Vairochana samadhi. There's the Shurangama samadhi. Those are the Pusa Shengding, the sublime samadhis of the Bodhisattva. And the little ones that accompany it, like the ability to fall asleep as soon as your head hits the pillow as you choose. 这个菩萨有圣定，什么圣定呢？就说，在我们大乘经书，就有的大定、大三昧很有名的，比方说海印菩萨海印三昧 ，Sagara Samadhi， 菩萨海印三昧是什么？那就是在华严经啊，就说有一种定力是菩萨会入这个定，在那个三昧里边，等于一个湖或者一个海，可是那个海上湖上一点的波浪都没有，水上很平静，很平静。那个水怎么清净呢？可以看到反映所有世界上所有心里一切的层楼万象都会反映在那个水里边啊，那是菩萨的圣定。跟着他有小小的好几个这个不是那么大的定力。举一个例子不知道各位呢睡觉的时候会不会有一些不容易睡觉的什么境界，或者妄想纷飞啊，或者比较心里不安啊。那么记得有一次师父在讲法的时候，他说你们各位晚上如果有不容易睡觉的话，你们可以念大悲咒3遍。他说你呼吸了就慢慢的吸进来，慢慢的呼下去了，那么念大悲咒南无阿弥陀佛。他说这样子呢，你就时间久了，你就会马上那个头一到枕头上，你就会睡觉。那我说好的师父，问题是什么？我念了第1个，我已经睡觉了，我从来没有念到第2个，何况第3个，我已经睡觉了，太亮了，那个太灵了，很好的办法。那个应该算是这个三昧的眷属，大定的三昧眷属，一个小三昧小的定力。Okay, moving on here. Bodhisattva gets countless samadhis and associated samadhis, so their supreme samadhis continue without interruption. 愿一切众生常乐见佛，悉入诸佛庄严三昧。Oh, here's a samadhi. May all living beings always delight in beholding the Buddhas and enter the Buddha's splendid samadhis. Okay. Delight in beholding the Buddhas? Yeah. they talk about every world has 4 continents. They talk about it that way. And in the north, Uttarakuta is the name of the continent to the north. They say one of the issues, one of the problems with being born in Uttarakuta is you never see the Buddha or his Sangha. You can hear the Dharma, but you never get to see the Buddha, the visual aspect of the Buddha. So think of that kind of karma. We're in the south, we're in southern Jambudvipa, so we don't have that problem here. What's it like for people who are blind? If you're not sighted, if you have problem with visual, can you see the Buddha? I think so. I think if you have a pure mind, the Buddha appears not in form, but the Buddha's Dharma body. You could just feel the Buddha's presence in every thought. And maybe it's, what do they say in the Vajra Sutra? They say, how does it go? If you seek me in sight or hear me in sounds, you walk a crooked way. You don't ever see the Buddha. So maybe we're not talking about seeing with the eye in any case. 这个第二个呢，就说愿一切众生就常常看到佛然后呢可以入佛庄严三昧本来每个世界有4大部洲，他们说那个北陆贺州是不是那个 Uttarakuta 那边有一个业障，就说生在那个北部的国家，我们是南瞻部洲，那个北陆贺州是不是？他们说那里看不到佛，也看不到佛的僧团那个是一种业障，没有错所以我们在这个南瞻部洲应该庆幸自己已经有福报了不过话说回来，瞎眼睛的人了，有没有不能见到佛的这个果报？不一定是这样子。为什么呢？金刚经就说一沙相求我，一音声见我，一沙相一声音求我，此人行邪道，不能见如来。所以我们不求在北俱泸州，是的，北俱泸州那个，谢谢那个我们不是说希望这个眼睛看到佛，就说我们心里妄想去掉心里清净的时候，那个时候佛的法身显出来了菩萨愿意一切众生都有这个境界。So the Bodhisattva is praying, not praying. What's the difference between transference and prayer? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? That would be you can write your master's thesis on that. Give me a credit in the acknowledgments. Is an interesting conversation topic. Is a transference wish the same thing as a prayer? Maybe. Of course, we need to know what a prayer is to do that, to compare it. But interesting idea. Let's move on here. We'll dig into that as we go. 就说菩萨的回向的愿跟祈祷有没有什么不同这个是可以研究，这个问题很有趣愿一切众生成就菩萨不思议定，自在有系无量神通。这是今天晚上菩萨的第3个大愿，愿一切众生成就菩萨不思议定。当然这个定力是不思议，因为你念头在动，已经出定了，不在定里边眼睛看到色，耳朵听到声音鼻子舌头闻到味道闻到香或者尝尝味道，那个身体一动了，心里一动了，那就是出定所以当然不思议的定力，可是呢你不用思考的能力，你用你的智慧入定，那就可以了。自在有系无量神通，这是菩萨的境界，他用神通来教化众生。Here we go. Ready? May all living beings attain the Bodhisattva's inconceivable samadhis, the spiritual play of self-mastery, and countless spiritual powers. So the idea is, of course, samadhis are inconceivable. What does inconceivable mean? It means you don't think about them. You're already beyond language. You're already beyond thinking. Because why? Well, take a look. As soon as your eyes cling to sights, as soon as your ears pursue sounds, as soon as my nose wants to smell it again, as soon as my tongue wants to taste it again, as soon as my body craves the sensation, and my mind is there calculating and figuring like a calculator, then I'm out of samadhi. As soon as the six objects, the six organs move, 六根才动被云者, as soon as my six organs move, the clouds cover me over. So samadhi happens after the six senses are calm and subdued. At that point, what do you use for samadhi? Wisdom. Wisdom. All right. 愿一切众生入如实定，得不坏心. Check this out. 愿一切众生 saying or 入 merge with 如实定, samadhis as they really are, as real samadhis. That's my name, actually. Heng Sure is right there. Real samadhis, samadhis that are genuine, not what? 不实在的定没有了，得不坏心 and gain a mind, a thought that cannot be harmed or destroyed. What a wonderful thought that would be. 就说这个能得到这个不坏的心肠，哎呦，那个就说你的慈悲心从来不变了。你碰到一个对你相当不客气的人呢，他就侮辱你的人格，什么你就说哦，你是不是有什么烦恼啊？希望你可以快过了，恢复你的正常的心呢。你一点都不动怒，这样子你说这是不坏心菩萨的心肠。So, may all beings enter the samadhi of ultimate reality, Rooster. The Chinese said the real samadhi, samadhis that are real. Can you imagine a samadhi that's false? Yeah. People say, oh, a cat sitting by a mouse hole, it's different from the Buddha's samadhis. That's called the I want to eat a mouse samadhi. Maybe a sort of desire that's potentially going to lead to the ending of mouse lives. So that's not Buddha samadhi. Now, attaining an indestructible resolve. What do you suppose an indestructible resolve would be? If you could be kind, always kind, somebody insults you, somebody picks on you, somebody gets in your face and is really rude, and worst of all, insults your mother. Oh, anybody know about yo mama jokes? I probably shouldn't bring them up. I don't want to set anybody out into yo mama territory, but there's a series of jokes on the internet that are really funny. Yo mama, and I'm not going to be responsible for sending anybody out there, but they're pretty funny. Somebody insults your mother, you've got to fight on your hands. By and large, moms, yo mama is untouchable territory. Somebody insults your mother, you're going to get back. You're going to punch. So if you can hear somebody insult your mother and not move your mind, you say, oh, you don't know my mother? How could you? I know my mother. She's fine. Nothing you could say changes my knowledge of the reality of my mother. You must be unhappy today. I'm sorry. Hope you feel better. That's an indestructible resolve. Yo. 愿一切众生尽获菩萨神身三昧，于诸禅定而得自在。May all living beings completely attain the Bodhisattva's profound samadhis and be able to freely roam among all samadhis. Roaming, that's how we translate that word yo, right? So, okay. Oh, there was no roaming here at all. Wait a minute, where do we roam? 玉珠禅定而得自在 freely roam among all samadhis. Huh, interesting translation. Usually that's yoshi. We just had it up above. Spiritual play, freely roam. Huh, I don't think I would translate it that way. Okay, never mind. 愿一切众生尽获菩萨深深三昧，菩萨的深深三昧哦，就说我们有的时候打坐，打坐的时候盘腿，竖膝，然后心得到这个慰禅，得到一种安乐，一个就说清安慢慢的会不会入这个初禅、二禅、三禅、四禅？可是呢，一从这个一下腿了就不再盘腿，站起来移动了这个妄想又回来了六根踩动，被原者会不会？我就是这样子。很不容易移动了，一站起来就很不容易保持这种清安。菩萨他就说如如不动，寥寥长明就是行住坐卧不离这个，那就是真正的定力这不是从什么地方来的，这就是从常常发心所以这个是这个定力呢是真实的，这不是就说表一现奇了你知道深深的定力深深三昧你一说了真人不露相，露相非真人。Okay, coming over here. Thanks for waiting. All you folks listening to the other language, right? Back and forth, back and forth. I really appreciate your patience while we translate this. So, how do bodhisattvas obtain profound samadhis? Speaking of things I've actually experienced, oh man. I remember, if Richard's still on the line here, he will remember meditating at Gold Mountain Monastery every day. In the morning, 2 hours. In the afternoon, 1 hour. If you weren't there to meditate, we sent somebody upstairs to bring you down out of your sleeping samadhi to join the meditation. Oh, Gold Mountain Monastery. Cold, dark, but there was a feeling. There was a feeling there. And Richard had his little hut underneath the stairway. And most of the time, if you didn't see Richard in the dining room or upstairs, he was in his hut meditating. Had his legs crossed. He used to really sit hours and hours. And boy, I remember how clear. It was easy to be clear at Gold Mountain because everybody was contributing. We had Shifu's energy there. The problem is, what? As soon as you uncross your legs and you stand up, all the old false thoughts are back. Your mind starts to calculate, your eyes start looking around, ears move, you hear sounds and the noise next door, Smitty's body shop and the buses and the airplanes. It's hard. It's hard to keep your samadhi when you're moving. So, what do they say? Ru ru budong, thus unmoving, constantly bright. Walking, standing, sitting, lying down. Do not leave this behind. As soon as you leave this behind before your eyes, you've gone amiss. You've gone astray. That's real samadhi. And how do you get there? You practice. You have to make a different resolve and work at it. Then you're always in samadhi. They say, 挪切常在定，无有不定时. The Naga is always in samadhi. There's no time that he is not in samadhi. 愿一切众生得解脱心，成就一切三昧眷属. May all living beings attain liberated minds, achieving all samadhis and their associated samadhis. So as we see, there are different kinds of samadhis. There are big ones and little ones too. 这个三昧都有大的，有小的就是从人心 What's it like? Think of your hard drive, your computer, or maybe your cell phone. On your computer, you've got big programs. Maybe you've got Microsoft Word. Maybe you've got Adobe Photoshop. Maybe you've got InDesign, some of these big programs. Then you have little programs. You've got, chess. You can play chess. Maybe you've got games. Maybe you've got, Pac-Man. Maybe you've got Minecraft, Minesweeper. So big and little, they're all programs on your hard drive, but you can boot them up in different times. The mind is the same. It's got big samadhis and little samadhis. 就你看，这个有大的三昧，有小的三昧，三昧的眷属，等于什么呢？那么你们的电脑上是不是有大的这个软体？好比说呢 ，Microsoft Word 啊，或者 Adobe 啊等等 ，Photoshop 什么的。那个还有小的软体，就说那个游戏啊，电动的游戏，都是软体，都可以在你的电脑上或者是手机上用啊。那么三昧也一样的。Moving along here, take a look. 愿一切众生种种三昧皆得善巧，悉能摄去诸三昧相。May all living beings become proficient in the various samadhis, embracing the characteristics of all samadhis. That's good. 就说愿一切众生菩萨发这个回向愿，种种三昧皆得善巧。就你how do they say? If you 一通一切通，就说你能跟一个三昧就有本事能入啊，慢慢的其他的三昧门也跟着起来啊，开了，就说一本三位无量数，万数仍归一本，就这样子。悉能摄去诸三昧相，三昧相呢，就是你知道吗？哈，那个南传有一本书，就叫 Avatamsaka， 就是清净道，Visuddhimagga。这个是那些那个时候是那个什么，西兰一个大的，他呢就解释种种的三昧的种种定力的各项，有颜色、蓝色、绿色、红色的定力，还有种种的这个三昧啊，这个所以从佛住世到现在，那个僧团很注意这个定力的种种相。所以他希望菩萨希望众生都能摄取诸三昧相。Here we go. Ready? Flipping back over here. He hopes living beings become proficient in samadhis and embracing the characteristics. You know that there are books in the Theravada tradition. One is called the Visuddhimagga. There's another called the Samantapasadika, which are from Sri Lankan arhats from hundreds and hundreds of years ago who paid attention to all the different qualities of samadhi that men and women could accomplish, and they wrote them down. And there are different factors that you attain, different colors. There's blue-colored samadhis, and there's green and red. Even where else? In the Avatamsaka Sutra literature, there are descriptions of how you can enter Nian Fo San Mei, all the different qualities, where you contemplate Amitabha as the setting sun, and all kinds of wonderful states of being regarding the Pure Land. 还有我们那个弥陀三经就说他们解释，那么念佛三昧是怎么入的啊？那个念佛三昧都有它的各个相那么这个佛经都解释很清楚，所以南传也有， 那么北传我们汉传也有。So you can find the descriptions of samadhis in literature from the Theravada, in this Pali, literature in the Mahayana from Sanskrit. 愿一切众生得圣智三昧，普能学习诸三昧门。May all beings attain samadhis of supreme wisdom and study and practice each and every samadhi method. So the idea is that when you meditate, there are lots and lots and lots of potential roads and gateways that the mind can enter as you practice, not just one. So when at first, what's it like? We're meditating, our knees are on fire. Oh man, our knees hurt. It's really painful. And your mind hurts. Oh, you're just sitting there bored. You're just waiting for somebody to ring the bell or for the incense to burn down. And then you get a little flavor of something different, like a minute, maybe even a minute of stillness, and it has a flavor in it. And you kind of forget what time it was, how time passed. Ah, that's so different. It's like you go through a door. Things are different from then on, and at that point, you look forward to meditation. You don't fear it, you don't regret it, and it's just incredibly flavorful. That's the beginnings of samadhi. So here's this. He wants bodhisattvas. The bodhisattva wants all living beings like us to study and practice each and every samadhi method. 就是说，各位在打坐的时候，一开始呢，哇，膝盖痛，我们能盘腿10分钟就受不了，哎呦痛啊，放腿，哎呀，然后呢，你就发个决心，就说15分钟可以忍得住，忍手不能忍，让人手不能让啊，这样子啊，15分钟。好了，然后呢，20分钟这样子，就埋头苦干了啊。然后呢，哪一天呢，你就好像1分钟不一样，好像哇，时间过得好快，就忘了自己的身体在那打坐，觉得好舒服，好舒服啊。那个是三昧定力的开始。从那个时候，那个小小的味道，一开始呢，就说每一天呢能打坐，你就等待时间到了，完全不一样了。所以呢，慢慢的这个普能学习诸三昧门。Okay, we got a couple more, 2 more. Here we go. Ready? 愿一切众生得无碍三昧，入深禅定，终不退失。May all living beings attain unimpeded samadhis and enter deeply into dhyana concentration without ever retreating. Shifu would say that when you get to the dhyanas, if you can enter the first, second, third, and fourth dhyana, your breathing stops, your heart stops, your coarse thoughts stop, then your fine thoughts stop. And your organs, your actual physical organs, your breathing and your heartbeat, your circulation and your respiration are different. They transform. And they unite together in a kind of a synthesis. Very wonderful. And at that point, your entire physical experience, your metabolism is different. Now, Jin Chuan Shi, Jin Wei Shi, my 2 colleagues here in Berkeley, just came back from India. And in India, they had an experience. They had a special yoga class with a real talented yoga teacher. And someone who was also celibate, brahmacharya. And there's a special class because they stayed with friends in India who had contact with real Indian yogis. And the teacher said, no, he said, when you meditate, you enter the dhyanas, he said, and do not sit for more than 3 days. If you sit still for longer than 3 days, people think you are dead, and they will react negatively and impede your samadhi. Only 3 days. When you enter the dhyana state, no more than 3 days, you can plan it. Set your watch. So he said, once you cross your legs and enter the dhyanas, the dhyan, he says, only 3 days. So they, oh, okay, we will. Thank you for the advice. That's good advice. So, so clearly, there are yogis in India who enter the dhyanas and can sit for a long time, like Master Empty Cloud, Master Shuyan. He was able to meditate for days and weeks. So, my goodness, medical science doesn't know what to do with that. 就说能入禅定，商人常常跟我们劝我们说，你们能真正入这个初禅、二禅、三禅、四禅。他说，那个时候比什么世间上的娱乐还舒服，还高兴。刚刚金传师、金维师他们从印度回来，这个月初他们才回来。他们在印度的时候，有特别的朋友给他们介绍一个 yoga 会与切一个现在的当代的一个修行人，他也是梵行清净行为。他说好啊，我教你们他说你们要注意，你们什么时候入禅？他说不要做过3天，你连3天打坐一定要出定，不然的话，他说旁边的人会以为你死了，那个时候他们着急，那危险了。所以呢，你们入定呢不要超过3天就好了，3天就出来了，出定了。他们点点头说好，谢谢，好，一定的。得无碍三昧，入深禅定，终不退失，不要过3天。我们虚老和尚他入定1个礼拜、2个礼拜、1个月都不怕，可以了。你说心脏停止、肺脏停止、不呼吸，血里不流通不一样了现在的科学家没办法想象，所以呢，这就是菩萨的境界，菩萨的功夫。This is a state of Bodhisattva's 功夫。愿一切众生得无照三昧心恒正受，不去二法。May all living beings attain samadhis free from attachment. May their minds dwell ever in correct, right perception, detached from duality. This is talking about 就是说菩萨怎么样用心，在入定的时候不会入二心，心不动，不然的话你就出定了就像眼睛不要跑，耳朵不要跑，眼耳鼻舌身意都要回归就取定，一心不乱，那个时候就可以了。So what we want to avoid your mind moving. If you get into a samadhi that doesn't attach, that's to say eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. It comes back to the center, doesn't go outside, doesn't move. That way, single-minded, so comfortable, so good. 是菩萨摩诃萨布施一切内功眷属时善根回向，这就是菩萨，这是总括就说结束了这一段。菩萨布施他的大家记得已经这个好像3-4个礼拜前我们就开始研究这段。菩萨布施他的眷属，他的 interns， 他的帮手。现在呢，就把这个功德做布施的功德，这样子回向，希望众生入三昧。So this is the dedication of good roots on the part of bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, when practicing the giving of their inner court retinue. Okay, you recall four weeks ago we started investigating this chapter, and at that point, we heard the story about how the bodhisattva was giving away his interns, his dharma friends, his community to help others as needed And that was when it said the Bodhisattva, by this act of giving, has cultivated merit and virtue. Now he's giving it away, transferring. Okay, so that's our text. How about that? Okay, now, as we said, we want everybody to have a chance to cultivate on their own. Everyone listening on the call, right now there's 175 of us. How about that? We want everybody to do some cultivation so that when we transfer merit, you have something to transfer along with listening to the Dharma. 所以呢，我们就说每一个礼拜参加我们的这个讲经啊法会的人，到时候自己也有机会修自己的功德，然后呢有所回向。好了，除了听经之外，另外有。So what are we doing? We've got the Jishangjing, the Mangala Sutta. These are the highest blessings. And we want everybody to sing along. Your part goes like this. 你们要唱的时候就是这样子。These are highest blessings. These are highest blessings. Okay, you'll know when to come in. Thus have I heard that the Blessed One, staying at Shrivasti, residing at the Jada Grove in Anathapindika's park, then in the dark of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all of the Jada's grove. She bowed down low before the Blessed One. Standing to one side, she said, 怎么说呢？如是我闻，一是佛在是为果，即是给诸独愿诸者精舍。是以深夜有一天人天神，殊胜光明遍照眼中，来至佛所恭敬礼拜，站立一旁，以偈拜佛言。Devas are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? Zhong天神与人渴望得利益，思考求幸福，轻视最吉祥。然后呢，佛就答复他：各位注意，这轻法是不是？他就轻法。So what did the Buddha say? She's now requested Dharma. He says, avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, honoring those worthy of honor. 好，大家跟着来。These are the highest blessings. 再来 one more. These are the highest blessings. Living in places of suitable kinds, with the fruits of past good deeds, guided by the rightful way. Ready? Here we go. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. Let's do one more. Accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline, highly trained, speech that is true, pleasant to hear. Ready? Here we go. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. So those are the words of the Buddha, and by singing along with everyone, we get a chance to make those words our own, and at the same time learn, what are the highest blessings? What did the Buddha teach? There we go. All right. Now we've got Master 玄奘大师他姓陈，你知道吗？玄奘大师他的家底，他是陈人，他在陈留那里汉太区长重功之后，他应该有贵族的家庭曾之谦后为尚书太守，他的是不是他的祖父就有官位他是一个学者任国字博士所以他种种的这个背景然后他母亲他的父亲种种的这个地位早通经术，性长八尺，美名目，待义博待，豪儒者之容，时人放置国有道。兴华间 Oh, I got trouble here. I didn't prepare this Chinese. 无复荣间家族随之 Maybe I'll have everybody in Chinese readers read this. 你们会中文的人自己读一读，好吧？因为我不会，这是文言文Okay, Master 玄奘 was what? He was named Chun. He's actually everybody who's named Chun. That's Master 玄奘's surname. He came from Chunliu. He was the grandson or great-grandson of famous magistrates who in the Han Dynasty, hundreds of years ago. So he came from a noble family. His great-grandfather Jin was a prefect during the whole Wei. His grandfather Kang was a scholar, served in the court of Qi, professor in National Academy. So, Masters, this is establishing his ancestral home. So in China, it's important to know where your ancestors come from. So 就说这个玄奘大师我们知道他的故乡，他有很出乎其类、拔乎其萃的祖宗。His dad, Mr. Hui, was a man of brilliant, upright character. At an early age, mastered the classics. He was tall, handsome, perfect eyebrows, bright eyes. So, in other words, distinguished lineage. He was dressed in a loose garment, just like Confucian scholars. He was compared to Guo Tai, a famous man of learning. So, the point of this is to establish that our hero, Master 玄奘 was an extraordinary young man. 就表示就说他的父亲的德行，他的父亲也是非常的人，不平凡。他的父亲是学者，可是自己不骄傲。He was calm and simple, took no interest in official promotion, and during the Sui, just before the Tang, there was lots of unrest, lots of trouble. And instead of getting involved in parties and factions, his father studied the classics. He was appointed to positions, but what did he say? He said, nope, I'm not well. Please don't appoint me. I need to go study. So he didn't climb to the top of fame and benefit, and thus avoided lots of trouble. And people at the time praised him. 就说那个时候，这个玄奘大师的父亲可以求名求利，他不做。他们要给他一个职位，他就说不用，我自己身体太弱了，让我读书好了。所以呢，他不求名，大家就赞叹他。He had 4 sons, and Master Xuanzang was the youngest. And now we find out about what kind of a kid he was when he was a child. He showed his brilliance. He was 8 years old, and his dad was teaching him the Xiaojing, not filial piety. We draw a red X over that word, filial respect. Piety is not something anybody wants. Bad translation. He was 8 years old. His father taught him the book of filial respect, Xiaojing. And when they got to the point where the Xiaojing talks about Zhengzi, the disciple of Confucius, and Zhengzi, as he was being taught by his father, stood up. He didn't sit. And when they got to that point, what did Master Xuanzang, the future Xuanzang, this 8-year-old kid, he stood up. Stood up next to his dad, because his dad was teaching him orally. So he's, why are you standing? He says, oh, well, Zhengzi stood when Confucius taught him, so why could I sit here and listen to my father teach me? That would be unfilial. Oh. So his dad saw this behavior. Nobody told him. The kid did it on his own. And he said, all right, my younger son's going to be good. And he told it to his family members, and they said, wow, you got a filial son. 那么这个小故事，我们知道玄奘大师的情况，他的品德，就说父亲在那儿教他孝经，口述这个孝经。等到那个孝经里边知道曾子，听孔老夫子教他，他呢站起来，他不愿意受到他的师傅、他的老师的这个教诲，他不敢做，他就站起来。然后玄奘大师这是4个儿子最小，小弟弟8岁，听到他父亲教他这个道理了，他自己起立站起来。父亲问他你为什么站起来？他说你看曾子就读书的时候他不敢做呢，我怎么敢做呢？这不孝顺。父亲看到儿子这样做，他OK， 告诉他的亲戚，他们说这个老四是孝子。So after that, Master Xuanzang, as a young man, mastered the classics. He loved wisdom, the knowledge of the sages, and he didn't read casual books, so he was not into comics. Head comics, the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, he didn't read those. Marvel comics, nope. If it wasn't a good book, he wouldn't read it. And when he heard about the way the saints and the sages behaved, he would imitate them. He didn't hang out with other kids. He didn't play around outside the home. If there was activity and excitement in the street, passing troupe or a circus or like a show, he didn't bother. He didn't go look. He would not go out to behold it. He knew how to make his parents happy, and he kept himself pure and quiet. Probably could enter samadhi as a young man. 我们现在就知道这个玄奘大师年轻的时候怎么样，他就龙通这个4书啊、5经啊、13经他都会。他爱智慧圣贤的学问。这个书本呢，如果不是善书，他不读了。漫画Marvel Comics 等等这个 video 他不看的然后圣贤的行为人赞叹，他就效法了。他不会随便乱结拜朋友了，其他的小孩子他们玩的他就不玩。这个马路 这个门外啊，有马戏团啊，有这个热闹啊，他就不参加，他就根本不注意了，不顾了啊。然后他就令他的父母啊很开心，他自己就保持清净，所以我们知道他很容易入定。Okay, now that's it for now for this story. Give you a little taste of it. We're going to have to work out. Maybe I have to. Maybe I have to prepare this in advance. Otherwise, I won't be able to read it. But what we're getting a picture of the beginnings of someone who became a national hero, known to us to this day. We still know about Master Xuanzang. So you can see how he started, what kind of a person he was at the beginning. So that's how he became so extraordinary at the end. 我们现在知道玄奘大师他年轻的时候是怎么样一个特别的小孩子，结果呢，他就变成一个就说千秋芳名，是不是？他的铭文，他的行为，他的榜样，到21世纪，我们还记得他。Alrighty. Okay. Now, I'll tell for those of you who are members of my Avatamsaka translation committee, tomorrow the program with Marty reading letters is postponed. Marty is not feeling well, but we will have a program with some DRBU students which we will broadcast. So we'll ask Jin Yong Shi once we get our Zoom link to send that to everybody. And we will be holding a class speaking Dharma for college students. And they don't get a chance to meet monks and nuns that often. So 明天我们的翻译华严经那个委员会呢，本来说要参加那个Martin Verhoeven 教授韩我本身的一个节目呢，因为Marty 身体不舒服了，所以就改到另外一天改天。明天我们就上课，给一些法界大学的学生上课，大家欢迎参加。等一等，我们就跟金融师联系，就把那个 Zoom link 都送各位。OK， 明天再说。好的。Should we recite the name of the 7 Tathagatas? Let's do it. More merit and virtue for you to transfer. Namo Dopa Rulai, Namo Pakshan Rulai, Namo Myasha Shan Rulai, Namo Kwangbo Shan Rulai, Namo Libue Rulai, Namo Gandu Namo Amito Rulai, Namo Dopa Rulai, Namo Bao Shang Rulai, Namo Myasha Shan Rulai, Namo Kwangbo Shan Rulai, Namo Libue Rulai, Namo Gandu Rulai, Namo Amito Rulai. One more time, here we go. Namo Dopa Rulai, Namo Bao Shang Rulai, Namo Myasha Shan Rulai, Namo Kwangbo Shan Rulai, Namo Libue Rulai, Namo Gandu Rulai, Namo Amito Rulai. Indeed, 那七如来的名号非常有用。感恩七如来留下你们的名字，我们能念它，哎呀，就一切都顺利。Thank you to the 7 Tathagatas for leaving behind your names so we can recite them. Now is our chance to transfer merit ourselves. We're going to do it now and invite all of you to to recite as you can. Make a wish just like a bodhisattva. Send it out to the world however you would like to share your merit. We've heard the sutra, we've heard Master Xuanzhuang, we recited the Mangala Sutta. The time is, let's see, what time please? It is, the time will be 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're in Montreal, that would be what, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 hours, so 4 p.m. Please make a wish. Send out your merit and virtue. We practice just like those bodhisattvas that we admire. 我们就像我们所崇拜的华严经上的菩萨这样子回向。再来一次。对了，那是明天洛杉矶旧金山的时候 Pacific Time 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Same in Los Angeles, same in San Francisco. We'll have a talk tomorrow, casual talk with DRBU students. You're welcome to join. Let's bow 3 times to the Buddha. 我们向佛顶礼三拜。Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. All right, that's going to do it for us for today. Amitofo, take care, everyone. Bye now.
I have a quick announcement.
Okay, 好，金融师，好，阿弥陀佛。
Next Sunday, we have a second speaker. It's a special guest from Taiwan. It's a professor, physics professor. Let me share the screen.
Okay, there you go.
So this is Professor Henry Zhang. 这是下礼拜天我们有一个特别的演讲，8点半开始。 台湾这边淡江大学的教授，物理教授张金玲。He's going to talk about fusion energy. This is a type of energy that the sun uses to provide energy for everyone in the universe for long time. 那下礼拜他是要讲这个聚变能量，从前我们叫做融合能量和融合。这是那个太阳它所以能够放光放这么久的方法。And this is a potential breakthrough to our energy resources. If this can be applicable to daily life, we won't need fossil fuels. We don't need oil, not anything else. This will be sufficient. 那这个聚变能量如果能够应用到我们日常生活的话，我们就不需要用石油啊这方面的能源，所以这是一个很重要的一个能源来。那最近是有一点突破的，recently there's a breakthrough there. So Dr. Zhang is going to talk about that next Sunday. 最近是在这方面确实有点突破，所以张教授下礼拜天会和我们来简单的介绍。So that's it. So hope everybody can join us. 就这样子到这边。And thank Reverend Heng Sure's lecture today. 谢谢释法师的讲课 and everyone's attendance.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.